everyone, welcome back to our Curilla YouTube channel. With me, I am Dian and I'm together with Naqib.
Hi.
He's from a technical team and he'll be explaining to you how this thing works. You see this thing here? Today we'll be talking about what is 3D printing. The creation of a 3D printed object is achieved using additive processes. Why additive? So with me today, he will explain to you how this machine works.
Okay, first I would like to give you a simple process how it's work. Okay, first we talk about 3D printer, or another name we call it additive manufacturing, because it's an add from layer to layer. From you see this one, if we can see another machine, actually it's a zero payment, it's nothing here. So the ink, the nozzle we print layer by layer until the
object is created.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you make the filament from input into an output? How do you actually do it from input into an actual object?
Actually, first we have a filament here. You can see this one is plastics.
I see there's other colors too.
Oh yes, but commonly we use the plastics because it's very cheap. After that, is can use most of the machine in the world, and it's affordable price.
Okay, so what is the most common type of material that will be used?
Mostly we use PLA and ABS.
Oh, so Mr. Naqib, what I wanted the most today, how can from a roll of filament like this can actually give me an actual object like all of this? Can you explain me roughly?
Okay, first before I go to the machine, I'll give you a simple method. We got the three process from drawing to the real object. First, we need the CAD data, any CAD data.
Where do you usually get the CAD data?
Mostly we have like a Katia, we have the AutoCAD, the common software that we use. Okay. After that, from that drawing, we go to second software, we call it slicer. Mostly we have a Cura, we have a simplified 3D, but we commonly use Cura because it's free and it always update to another machines. Because mostly the file from CAD data is STL, DWG, we have a lot of format. But
so you need like a middle person to convert all the data into something that is understandable by the machine. Oh.
So the machine can read, because this machine can read a G code, we call it the format.
So the format is G code.
Yes, G code. Okay. So the function from Cura is mostly it can use for how many time it takes to print, how much we can make.
So it can tell you the duration, the temperature, the rotary and everything.
Yes, mostly like a coding for the drawing to the machines.
Okay, so we have two kind of machines here. So maybe can you roughly explain to me what is the difference between enclosed and the open machine?
Okay. Left we have a desktop machine. For this one is a desktop because it came with one piece like this from factory to us.
Okay. So
and after that,
it's assembled like this?
Yes, assembled by factory, not by us. After that, this one we have an enclosure, so mostly it can print more material than this one.
So do you assemble this version by yourself?
Yes, that's why we call it DIY version. On another word, we can call it do it yourself, because it came part by part and you need to assemble it.
So these two machines, are they using the same type of ink or the what we call it filament?
Yes, mostly this one have a same common filament, PLA, ABS, but this one we can add another material, we call it TPU.
Oh, TPU.
Can you take the red one?
Oh, this is TPU.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm mostly interested in understanding this machine today, can you explain to me how does the filament turns everything into like a liquid ink until it makes into like a object? Can you explain it?
First we have a filament here. Now we use a PLA. So from this filament, we go to extruder like this and flow to the tube. And this one we have a fans, because this one is a heating element.
Oh, so there's a fan inside?
Yes.
Okay.
For cooling the heating elements.
Okay.
So it will heat the filaments, and the filament will melt and will print.
An object.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe we can move on to what kind of industry and what kind of objects that this machine are possible to produce. So Mr. Naqib, today I saw that he is doing the phone stand. Can you roughly explain to me the kind of object that we have here?
Okay, first before we go to the general, I go for industry first.
Okay.
Actually, industry we have used for manufacturing, because before this we use injection molding. We have a lot of process, but for prototyping we can use this one additive material because it's less
We
cost.
just wanted to show the model first, so
Yes.
maybe we can do the prototyping first. Is this for automotive?
Yes, this was an engine block.
Okay. Besides, we also have like bottles. What is mostly bottles used for?
Maybe for packaging, maybe for cosmetic or anything. You want to produce one
Consumer
product.
products,
Yes. Maybe you can make the prototyping, what kind of design, because maybe from one product maybe we have a lot of design, but you need to see the reality, how it's work.
I see something very interesting on this table right now, which is the dental thing. What is this used for, and is this a real shape of a...
Yes, actually this one we get from one of the lecturer from UKM, if I'm not mistaken, because this one it have from his client.
patient, is it?
Yes, his patient.
So it's a real prototype
Yes.
from a real patient.
So what can we use mostly for the lecturer from you can tell us is for study. Maybe you can study a structure.
For students to revise
Yes,
everything. Okay. So I see another one thing, that we know that today we are facing the COVID-19 combat, and what I'm mostly interested is this thing. This looks like a headband. Can you explain to me how do you use this for the... Is this the face shield guard or?
Okay, this one is actually we got the design from our community, thanks to 3D Printer Malaysia community. We have a lot of designer here. After that, we got this file is for face shield.
Oh, so you put the visor, is it?
Yeah, put the visor.
Okay.
For our frontliner, such as police, we got the nurse or anything, they can use this one face shield. Because actually, when the COVID happened, we run out of stocks from outside, from China
so
and everything. So we need to
DIY.
produce it. Yes.
Okay, for the frontliners, this is one of the local efforts to help the frontliners. So now moving on to the education purposes, I believe that Malaysia's government today are trying to strive or reach the 4.0 industrial revolution, right?
Yes,
So programs
that's correct.
like Create Education Project, maybe students are able to produce projects in a short time, instead of just drawing, instead of just like visualizing things. Now they can actually, from visualize, they can actually materialize things. It is all about personalization and customization. You can see everything on the table. It is very colorful, and the raw products are cheap as well. Even the machines are affordable for everyone. So I honestly think that this machine and this kind of approach, additive manufacturing, is good for students. And one last question. We understood that QBLab is more for the approach of education.
We focus on our young actually, because this our future.
Okay.
That's why we need to prepare the mind,
It is
the
something
IQ.
for
Yes.
primary students should be familiar with. Instead, we can see that in the US, UK, Canada and all, they are very familiar with 3D printers and everything. What we are trying to do with Malaysia today is making everyone, even the kids, familiar with the codings and all. Instead of just thinking 3D printers or coding or open source is an odd way, we are trying to make everything familiar and maybe friendlier. Like Mr. Naqib said, we are trying to make everything for future, for kids. Okay, so ending this video, to come up with a summary, can you tell me what is the most interesting thing that QBLab may offers for this time being?
Actually, we have a few classes. Before this, we do the in-house classes, but during the COVID-19.
Now we have online, is it?
Yes, we have online courses.
We have virtual classes as well.
Like a webinar. After that, we have a few approach doing a FB Live for education. After that, we have coding classes. We have Arduino for primary and secondary, from the simple set to the robot set. After that, we have drawings, or we call it 3D modeling for kids. After that is 3D printer. we use a Tinkercad for primary, and we use a Fusion CT for secondary.
Okay, I believe that QBLab are trying their best to make everything more friendly and good for students from primary to universities. So please subscribe our YouTube channel, QBLab, and maybe you can view our website www.qblab.com, or just comment down below if you have any inquiries. So I think that's all from me.
And that's all from me, Naqib.
Bye!